Hello everyone, this is Sharknice,
And I am gorillanice.
and we're here to cast a 2v2 on the Boneyard.
And for the top team, we have the red Terran Xendro, and the blue Zerg, TheMipchunk.
And on the bottom team we have Sharknice, the Teal Terran, and gorillanice, the purple Zerg. So this map is the Boneyard, and you can spawn in any of these 4 locations. Your team can spawn here, so you don't know where your enemy is right away. They could be across, or they could be closer to you. So you kind of have to scout it out and figure out where they are, not just what they're building. So if you're doing any kind of extremely fast rush, you better figure out where your enemies are.
Yep.
And you can see here the both of the Zergs are sending overlords to scout.
To the closer base.
Yep.
Or the base that's closer to them. I personally like to stop my overlord right at the minerals, so there's a chance they can't see the overlord and we give away our start position. This time I totally failed. I always fail at it too. And then I check the mineral. You see I clicked it there, and then I either pull them away if they're mining that mineral patch, or I send them onward if they're not.
Yep, and it looks like here the purple Zerg is giving the Terran a gas, so you can get gas faster. And this is usually because they're doing some kind of fast factory with Hellion build.
And that's kind of our signature build. The Hellion Ling is what we love to do.
Yep, and it only slightly delays the pool timing. As you can see, the other Zerg just finished his pool, and the other pool just finished now. So it's a slight delay.
And I know with Zerg, every second counts, especially the difference between a wall and not a wall. But when you're going 10 pool, you're generally going against 10 pool at this time in StarCraft and team games. Every Zerg 10 pool. And so you're going 10 pool against 10 pool, but with an 11 pool, which is essentially what it is, you get your Ling to defend by the time they get to your base. So you're safe. It's a safe build. You're not putting yourself at risk by delaying your pool. You're actually doing just fine.
Yep, and they just scouted the 10 pool now, but they kind of suspected it.
Yep, and as you can see, they 10 pooled as well. And what's red doing? Oh, it looks like we'll be seeing Hellion Ling against Hellion Ling.
Yep. But as you can see, since they did the shared gas, the bottom team is already starting to build their Hellions.
Yep. And actually one of the counters to our Hellion attack, that's what we call it, is actually a slower Hellion Ling. And that's what they're doing.
Yep, they get a little bit better economy doing it this way. And he's actually going for double factory.
Which is really common at this time. I don't think it's as common in 2v2 anymore. Maybe against double Zerg.
Yep, so his Hellions just finished as the other Hellions were arriving. So you got a little Hellion Ling on Hellion Ling action here.
Yep, and it looks like it's time to run away.
Yep, the top team came out on top for that engagement.
Yes, they did.
Although, as you can see, all their Zergling and Hellions are injured here. And the bottom team is just about to finish Zerg speed, Ling speed, and the top team didn't get it yet.
Which, it's
or
essential.
Actually, it looks like they both have it.
They both have it, yeah. I think the top team finished it first. It's essential to get that Zergling speed versus Hellions, because your Zergling are slower than the Hellions without the speed, and they just waste you.
And that is why a Wallen is really good on this map against the Zerg Terran. If the bottom team didn't have a Wallen, they would have lost right there.
That's right.
Because all these Zerglings would be in the base. But there's no way they can kill the wall with Hellions there.
And so it looks like they're just chilling outside the base, maybe trying to contain. He's just making pure Hellion.
Yep.
Double
he got
reactor.
supply blocked.
Oh.
So he had to he just got his supply depot finished. So he wasn't supply blocked too bad. And the Zerg is expanding now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just massing up.
They're feeling pretty safe. They got the bottom team contained. And they're just massing up units to get in there and hopefully for them cook some workers.
But they don't really know what the bottom team is doing, as you can see, because they don't have it scouted. So the bottom team could be going a Banshee and they wouldn't know. They could assume. And so could the top team. No one really... Both teams are kind of in the dark at this point.
Yep.
And as you can see, both teams actually are building starports. And they should know the timing because they both did pretty much the same build.
Yep, that's right. If you see Hellions, you should expect a Banshee follow-up. It's just common sense.
Yep, so Tech Lab's going down at pretty much the same time for both teams.
Looks like the top team is just massing up and building their contain. Go to the armies down there. They actually can't push in. If you look at the wall, if they pushed in, all the Zergling would die. And if they pushed in with the Hellions, they would die or do very little damage.
Yeah, so they kind of massed up. They built kind of an excess number of Lings and Hellions there. But he did switch over to, it looks like, tanks now.
Yep.
And he's using he's using the reactors for Marines now. And he has a Banshee on the way, no cloak researching yet. Same for his other player.
Yep. And there was their push in. Is doomed to fail from the beginning. They don't have vision. They're pure Zergling and they'll just get roasted by those Hellions.
Yep. So it looks like the top Zerg switched over to Roaches, which is a good idea at this point.
Mm-hmm. Roaches do well against Hellions, and I think the Zerg counter for Hellion Ling is a 7 Roach build or a 5 Roach.
And the MipChunk isn't really using his expansion yet. So it's not getting him any advantage.
Yep.
And the bottom team is building their expansion now.
He's still spending larva on an army. Now we got a Banshee attack coming in from the Teal Terran. We're going to see how much damage he can manage to do. Doesn't look like the red Terran has reacted yet. In fact, his Marines that were there just left. Oh, here they are. Getting some good kiting in.
Yep, 4 kills so far on that Banshee. And red is trying to do the same thing, but
yeah, he ran
the bottom
into
team
a
was
queen.
already prepared for it. 0 kills so far on his Banshee.
Where's the... Oh, the Teal Banshee went to the expansion.
Yep, got 1 more kill.
No cloak, so that queen can just keep hitting him.
Yep. And cloak is just about to finish for Teal. So he's going to continue his Banshee harass. 7 kills, 8 kills.
Oh, here comes the second Banshee.
Yep. And he has Marines here now, but 2 Banshees.
They do have cloak ready.
Yeah.
Ooh. They almost got that 1 Banshee, but not quite.
Could have used the cloak there to take less damage, but I guess it didn't really matter. 16 kills and 8 kills. 18 kills. And red here got his siege tank, so they could start sieging this base. If they did, they don't really have an answer besides the Banshees, which are harassing.
Yeah. Which are in the other base. There they got the scan off, and they did get both Banshees there.
Yep.
But the reason they're not attacking is because they're too busy in their own base defending themselves from Banshees.
Yep, not enough multitasking from...
And the interesting thing in this army is they have very little anti-air. Just a few Marines.
Yep. And you need that against Banshees. You need more Marines against Banshees.
Looks like the blue Zerg is getting a lair. It looks like the purple Zerg almost has a spire done.
Yep, and as you can see, the bottom team really doesn't have an answer yet for these tanks. Banshee's on the way, though.
Yep, they're just slowly pushing in. They don't have vision of the high ground yet, which is a good thing. And I don't think they know what we have either.
Well, they know Banshees are there, but they have no idea what the Zerg's doing.
They haven't used any ComSat scans, it looks like.
They are getting an overseer to detect the Banshee.
Here comes another Banshee for some tank harassment.
Yep. And as you can see right now, purple is building 9 Mutalisks.
Yep. Viking gets taken down. I think that was to hunt a Banshee. Just doing some Banshee harassment while we're in the siege.
Right now purple has 9 Mutalisks.
Yeah, really what we're doing is buying time for those Mutalisks to get in there. They do not have enough anti-air.
Yep.
Especially with a mistake like that.
And now that the bottom team has a tank, they can defend against this a little bit better. But
yep. Forcing another scan from the Terran and distracting him, pulling him away from all those siege tanks. So the Mutalisks, they just target fire on those siege tanks and laugh all day long.
And there's plenty of Mutalisks.
And they move in and they don't attack the Mutalisks with their anti-air. And then the Ling, you didn't see it, but they all ran into those Hellions and died right away.
Yeah, they didn't attack in very well at all. It was kind of a desperation attack.
It really was. And they didn't scout or scan or anything. They had no idea that Purple Zerg was going for those Mutalisks.
Yep. And he also made the mistake of rallying all of his overlords.
Yep.
You got to be careful about that when you're rallying.
Yep. Looks like Red is almost mined out, and he didn't expand, even though they had that. Oh, he does have an extra command center.
Yep. He wasn't building many SCVs. He did lose a lot.
Oh, that's true. He did lose a lot of
the
economy.
Banshees, but he didn't really rebuild them too well.
Looks like the Banshees and the Mutalisks are going to take on those Terrans together. The Banshees died, though. The Mutalisks cleaned it up.
There's a ton of Mutalisks here.
Here's a good supply block.
Yep. And he lost all of those overlords that were in the middle. So as you can see now, he's supply blocked by. He's still supply blocked, even though he just made 4 overlords.
Looks like gorillanice was going supply block crazy, and he targeted that supply depot. And then he decided to get key structures instead, like the armory, which will prevent Thors from being built. Going for the mineral line of the Red Terran.
He's trying to mass repair that turret, and the Mutalisks can't really take that on.
Yep.
Blue went for a straight counter to Mutalisks and just went for Hydralisks.
Yep. Looks like both teams are trying to counter Mutalisks and Banshees.
Yep. The bottom Terran is still building out some Banshees, and looks like he wants to get more tanks. He's kind of getting a lot of minerals because he just got this expansion up.
Also, a double expansion at 1 base. Interesting choice.
Yep.
I'm guessing
yep.
We'll see a planetary and a... What is it, the other one? An orbital?
Yep. And Teal's still doing Banshee harassment.
Yeah, 4 kills on a Banshee. Decent. And actually, I think one of those kills for that Banshee was the armory that the Mutalisks were unable to kill.
Yep. They sniped off the armory, so now he can't build any more Thors, which is basically his counter to the Mutalisks.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really good hit there.
Even though Hydralisks cream Mutalisks. But stopping those Thors, that's good.
Once you get enough Mutalisks, though, you can take on the Hydralisks if you ball them up close enough together.
But I really wouldn't recommend that, because the cash difference, it's not really worth it unless you're so far ahead that you can afford the Mutalisks.
Yep. And looks like no upgrades on the Mutalisks yet. The top Terran, no upgrades, and 1 attack upgrade for range.
Now, does this top team even know about any expansions?
They do not. They know about the back one, but that's it.
Yep. They know about the natural joint expansion.
And this one is like a permanent expansion, so there's a planetary fortress there, and then this one's just to produce more SCVs, and he can lift that off later, move it someplace else.
Yep.
And blue is scouting around with
Now they're
Zergling.
scouting.
That's really smart. You should pretty much be doing that the entire game, so you know if your opponent's trying to take some secret expansions or not. They didn't catch a glimpse of that bottom one.
Oh, but they did see the top one. And if I were them, I would only assume 1 expansion. I wouldn't assume the double expansion, especially two that are that far apart.
They should assume that the Terran expanded down there, though.
Or at the gold.
So they're moving out to try to kill that expansion.
Catching some drones off guard. Catching the brave little tank.
Oh, it looks like they just decided they're going to hit instead of get the expansion. They're just going to go for a kill move.
Well, here they used a scan.
Yep, but they only have 2 tanks this time, and the bottom team actually has more tanks.
Mm-hmm. And is producing more tanks. Red actually isn't producing anything.
Yep, Red is actually...
He's mined out and
barely has any
he just
money.
doesn't care. He should really be lifting off one of those command centers and putting it at another base.
Yep, bottom team using the barracks for vision here.
Oh, I know why he's not moving. The top team is hitting with Mutalisk. Or the bottom team is hitting the top team with Mutalisk there.
Yep. So he has some Hydralisks that he's leaving behind.
Yep, that's really frustrating to deal with when you have an army like they have.
Yep, and it looks like they threw down some auto turrets to maybe run in with the Hydralisk, but it didn't really work out because there's too many tanks up here.
And they're just continuing to siege the base with their 2 tanks. Oh, looks like the Teal Terran is moving his barracks in for some vision.
Yep, and Red's constantly using his Raven for vision. He's completely out of minerals now, though. And you can see up here the Mutalisks just are killing everything.
Yeah, they're feeling sassy and they're attacking into that base.
It's all up to this one attack here, but it's going to be really hard because Hydralisks are not good against siege tanks. And the Thor kind of got baited in there by the barracks that it was trying to kill.
We just got a siege line versus siege line battle. Typical Terran. Some Zergling feeling like they don't want to live.
Yep. And the Thors are up here to protect against the Mutalisks, but they really need to just attack. Their base is already useless.
That's true. Well, this base isn't. It just doesn't have any workers.
Yep. All the Terran has is gas mining right now. So it looks like the bottom team's just getting ready to make a kill move on this force out here.
And really, it doesn't look like they can. The siege tanks whittled their numbers down. Mutalisk just baited a Hydra hit.
Yep. And see, at this point, Mutalisk can just take the Hydralisks.
Yeah, I think the numbers were about 2-1 though, and it didn't matter.
And that's
so there
GG.
we get the GG going down. Thank you for watching. I'm gorillanice.
And this is sharknice. See ya.